All right. Our next featured reader is going to be Vanessa. Vanessa Hamill is in her first semester in the MFA program here at SF State in poetry. She mainly focuses her writing on family dynamics, death and addiction, and LGBT experiences. She is a returnee to SF as her parents and family are from San Francisco, Italians that came here straight from Ellis Island in the early 1900s. She works as an accountant in Union Square and is the director of marketing and publicity at the historic Queer Alliance on campus. Welcome, everybody. Vanessa.
Okay. Thank you all for coming. Every week I pretty much read new poems or poems that I wrote that day, and so following that sort of vein, I am reading very recently written poetry. So a lot of you are in my classes, and so you've heard these. Starting with Town Green and the Ships Beneath Us. I grew up in the culture between my mother's legs, sanguine rhapsody for some oxy that created the mass exodus of Lexington queers, thanking God for the scores of neophytes shouting at sun-born whores on collapsing freeway overpasses, mother lover, mother woman looking out from riptides where unfamiliar visitors venturing out into waters dissolved into oxy where thousands of D-beaked birds flap their feathery fingers around the street, stumbling on torn toes, tearing down tent poles in alleyways where chronic homelessness grew in the shattered hallways of reclaimed land, the shallows of matted quicksand, then to where Windsor turned viridescent and renamed the neighborhood, but 16-year-old boys still die at house parties where in Calicaneca the poor girls learned the difference between legs and thighs, and the boys learned how to tattoo 14 on each other's backs, where the changing shoreline drops beneath the golden girlhood of fever-driven pedestrian divinations, where the refuge of sanctuary ordinance warrants a gun fired in July, heard in September to strike the carcass of a jagged beast, where crusts thrown from a jet can stifle the slow sand and shining stone, pinning the mouth of Babylon, gilded by mistake. And this one was written just last week. And this one's kind of my nonsense poem, but it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. White box, white bag, ashes, greasy hair, vibrant and docile, but the tears don't come. I cry muted warnings at your death. I hate seeing your face, and maybe I'm crying for a different reason than you. Enveloped by nocturnal shadows, struck by a sudden eerie compulsion, your vagina is like a tree, throbbing years of pain away to touch and consume. You stand there in a puddle of piss, and I can't believe you've gotten so good. I laugh because I've seen it before. Breathing so deeply it hurts, sweet nectar of prompt poison. I thought you were safe, and I drink like I'm thirsty. I just want to be a good daughter. I bought you flowers yesterday. Are you afraid? I'm not afraid. You can't save a horde of voices, yet you raise your voice in laughter. Someone is here, layers of growing dead skin. And this is probably my most recent poem. Planar armor. Norma with your three limbs, your tied together, bullet-jolting arms, Nova in your alcoholic starfish, street trash, put your knees to your chest. Noble in the rainfall, frozen body tramp possessed by the dead. Nowhere like the glass jar, amateur porn star, contortionist planet, nomad with every grave fall, tumbling recluse wellness check. Non-parent in your folding yourself in half in rabbit heart. Billboards light up on the civilization, hoisting herself above the clouds, shooting missiles to the ground below. As they grip their guns, they lick the countryside towns off the face of the world. Non-pulsed by your burning prong of heaven jutting down into the insanity down into nuclear eternity, down into the ghosts above their bodies where faith has sold them a dream of moments. And I think this is the first one maybe I read at Boro. No, this was not. This was very recent. Never mind. This is in response to vandalism at Kalikimeka in Windsor, that's just north of here, on Monday, October 24th, 2016, and I read it on the day of here. And so, yeah. Today in the news, I read Trump, Trump, Trump like a beating mantra for your hate, and I asked myself who's going to be hated today. I wonder if you had 3 little dots like teardrops in the web between your finger and your thumb, or if it was another symbol tattooed there. I wonder how long it took for you to spray paint that wall, build that wall higher. I doubt it was us, because even if we're self-destructive, we'd never do that to our children, but it took someone just 14 minutes to give my brother his first tattoo in Windsor. When he was 10, that branded him the word I cannot speak is true, the name given, and not to be said, and tattooed on the back of his neck near the figure of Jesus Christ, chained to a sword, hands bound and bleeding from the scalp. What did Kalikimeka do to deserve you? When it fell over, it all fell over on an ear so close you can hear the children's laughter that morning as they read Trump onomatopoeia painted on their doors. Trump like asking the destroyer not to enter here, and Trump to strike them down. I wonder what it was like today when those kids got to school, their whispers as they read the words you spewed into their walls. I'll forget you in a minute, when you fall down for what judgments you've passed. And these kids of mine, Kalikimeka won't be shaken out foundation for the confusion that you caused. Am I still good in time? XIV. June 1999. Brother, ink still wet and spilling from his lips where he hides another XIV, where even his spit became the venom by which he lives, brought home an old dog named Buddha. And I remember the time I went to the city of 10,000 Buddhas and learned about the 6 realms of suffering, heavens, asuras, humans, animals, hungry ghosts, and hell's 10,000 Buddhist statues haunt me where I go. I tell Mom I'm going to be a Buddhist, but she can't take me there now that brother's back in jail. June 2000. Grandpa fell over like one of those great Buddhist statues, like one of those bells being rung, and I know that I'll remember most are his rabbits and koi fish and his enormous left boot that I could hardly lift up myself, and his big beautiful bike. I tried on his leather vest for the last time and wrapped one of Buddha's babies in the folds. We can't afford another headstone or a statue like a Buddha or any marker that he is here besides this tree. I remember being told about wasps and fig trees and how they burrow inside, burying themselves and die there. And then this is the last one. Queen Anne's lace. The sympathetic motes of warm sun running through glass pane invite me and contain my affection for you. I lift your form and set you down in the path of it all, the movement of cascading dead skin interrupted only to reform and change again. And the voices coming in are only murmuring to me like an overflowing brook. 100 tastes of dead skin on my tongue and your apologies. Last night I forgot how to breathe. I inhaled air until it burned and inhaled again and thirst and inhaled until I had my fill and remembered your face. The locked box beneath the worn sweater and some cooking magazines hold the itemizations of my compassion, a frozen astronaut atop my dresser watches. I placed you in the center of my room and coiled the blanket tighter around me. The bitter perfume of your body cutting through even that. Dust has settled overnight and caked us in the residue we became so intoxicated by before. The mightiest, the patient, I demolished your memories, going door to door in your house and basking in the finale. Leaving a basket of Queen Anne's lace at your doorstep to rot in the rain. A wasp is caught between the panes of glass of my window. She beats futilely against her best interest. I set you in my teeth-crushing red fruits, the barbaric compulsion to send you a message, and the fall of each name from my lips. The gray rose, I call you, as I set a paper hat ablaze in the gutter stream, scribbled writing snaking a path down towards the water. I delete your number off my phone and place you in the picture there, pushing a balcony between you and everything else. The collarbone, I remember, was like a primitive blueprint, an amphibious controller in hopeless combat with the body's buzzing engine. I fold you into the pages of early spring leaves and the holy bootleg copies of our favorite movies. The neurotic way I contracted my ego to hamster a nest out of shoeboxes and windbreakers, and the escapist guide you left behind to augment the volume of my own mind. I set you in the yellow armchair we bought at the old Cougar's garage sale, where we capsuled an entire lullaby. I place you in the envelope and mail you to the glaciered landscape at the precipice of the end of our forms. That's it.